Hi everyone, Curtis here from Goth Rider Creations, and in today's episode we're going to make this a little bit less tinfoil house. Let's see if we can get this panelling done. Stay tuned. So here we go again. The original plan was I was going to use pallet wood, you know, the wood that everyone uses, but unfortunately a couple of problems. One, I've got quite a small car at the moment, and you get 2 pallets in maximum, and that is if you cut them in half. So not a great option, unfortunately. The other issue as well is working from that, it would probably take me about 2, maybe 3 months to get all of the pallets I need to actually do what I need to do here. And that does not include ripping them apart, denailing them and cleaning them up. So as you can see here, what I did was got some laminate flooring. Managed to get this on one of my other favourite places to go that's not the pound shop, and that is Facebook Marketplace. It was where are we? It was 3 brand new packs, so never opened, and the offcuts from a 4th pack for £10. So it is a hell of a lot cheaper than what you would buy new. Now, they weren't the best quality, and obviously the offcuts had been previously cut, so it wasn't perfect, but it's panelling for a shed. We're not expecting perfection. Now, one of the problems you have with this is that it's designed to go flat on the floor. It's not meant to go vertical. So you can see me having to really trim and clip together. Another trick as well, I don't know if you can see, but when you screw it to the wall, you don't want to go flush against the wall, because then you can't pivot to get it kind of clipped in and locked in place. Now, in quite a few spots I couldn't do that because it wasn't 100% level. I did have to hack the damaged parts of it out because it was very cheap laminate. So perfection was never going to be an option. But again, it's panelling for a shed. We just need it clean, need to get rid of the tin foil, and we need a semi-structurally sound base to put any kind of shelves or put some tools up. So that's basically the plan here. And after that, we're now on to the electrics. Now, I do have a couple of friends that are electricians that are probably watching this, and an electrical educator. So, yeah, don't give me any aggro on this one, please. Okay. But yeah, basically I ran exterior grade cabling that's used for light fixtures. I ran that through from the kitchen, and then I'm just using metal exterior grade, well, workshop grade, if you can call it that, sockets. The white cable you see there is what's known as pyro cable, and that is actually industrial grade stuff for building renovations, and that actually has a metal lining to it, which makes it, I can't remember exactly what the rating is, but it should make it fireproof to within half an hour. Most of them are to within an hour. So I'm using the good stuff. I don't want any aggro from anyone. Okay. Big unit, I'm doing it right here. Okay. Another thing to know is that in a previous life I did actually spend 2 years working as electrician's mate on building sites, so I have been trained and I am fully capable of terminating a couple of double sockets and wiring up a fused spur. I am not a qualified electrician, but you don't have to be. Now, having said all of that, I would like to do a big exclaimer: do not attempt electrics if you don't know what you're doing. Let me say that again. Don't do it if you don't know. Okay. I have hurt myself in the past with electrics, and I've known quite a few people that have done the same. If you don't know, don't touch. Now, what you can see here was me having to redo it because unfortunately the black exterior grade cable doesn't quite slide in and out as the way I'd like, and we don't talk about that. But yes, so I'm having to redo that, which was slightly annoying, but we got there in the end. And I don't know if you can hear in the background, but that is a YouTuber I watch called Michael Cthulhu, who is a legend sword maker, and he was raffling off a big gay sword, which is very, very cool. If you do subscribe to him, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If not, check him out. If you like computer games or fantasy movies, this guy makes all the weapons from them. They're amazing. So that's socket 1, and now on to socket 2. I've not gone too crazy with this because I'm only running it off of a fused spur, so it's just a standard sort of 13 amp circuit. For electricians, you'll know what I'm talking about. So all I'm using this for is a bit of basic lighting to charge the batteries for the cameras and some small batteries for battery powered tools. If I'm going to use anything a bit bigger than that, any of my other larger tools, I will only be plugging one thing in at a time during daylight hours, so we don't need to worry about heavy current draw or anything like that. We are also going to be working on the house in the next couple of months because Mrs. Gothrider's got an eye on her kitchen, and we will be getting a professional electrician in because we do need some other work doing. So at that point we will get a dedicated MCB 32 amp. We will get some armoured cable. I will run it down, and we will put a mini fuse box into this workshop, so then it will handle any kind of current we need to throw at it. So don't worry, that has been considered. So yeah, it's literally just a case of running the cable across and chucking it in. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You'll see later with the lighting side of things, I'm not going overly crazy. The other thing to consider is that there might be some moisture that will get into the shed, so you don't want to be going too crazy and then have any problems. Now, as you can see, the paneling is a little bit wavy in places, but it's not the end of the world. You can see here me putting in my little exclusion zone. Some people do make that mistake. For professional grade electrics, for certified electrics, the wires either need to be going up or down pretty much always, and you can go across 90 degrees in some situations. What I'm doing here is I'm literally just drawing out an exclusion zone for where I know the cables will be behind the paneling, and then that way when I do come to mount anything on the walls, tools, shelves, anything like that, there won't be any issues, because then I won't be blindly drilling into any cables. Like I say, I have done this before. So yeah, it's literally just rinse and repeat. More panels, more click together. Nice and easy, really. And here we go, moving on to the back wall, basically. Now, I did use quite a bit for that side wall, and I did get very paranoid about running out. As I'm sure you'll notice towards the end, the left-hand side wall has not been done, but I am in the process of sorting out some more laminate to try and do that. But for the moment, 2 walls will do. But yeah, so it got a little bit hairy with how much I had left, so I am utilising every single offcut that I can. Now, one thing to remember is, you can possibly see there, you just need to make sure you flip the board before you mark and cut, because then when you turn it back the right way, you've got the correct end to clip in to the bit you want for the locking part of the laminate. The amount of times I made that mistake in my first ever laminate job in a living room, and there's me just randomly cutting away to get the right sizes, and then realise you cut the wrong end off, and then you've got to start again from scratch. So if you put a little bit of pre-planning in there, it can actually work out very well, and you can utilise a lot of the materials. Any professional will tell you generally you work out your square meterage and then you just add 10% for cutting mistakes or losses due to faulty or damaged timber. With this, I'm hoping that there'll be some left over so I can use trim on the edges. But yeah, it was literally just measure, cut, screw, and rinse and repeat. If anyone's ever done laminate flooring, it's very similar. It's just obviously you've got to put screws in there further up. If you really wanted to make it look professional, you could probably use some no more nails or some kind of silicone adhesive to glue it up, but then you can only go so far before you've got to stop and let the adhesives dry. It would be similar to basically doing tiling on a wall. Now, I personally just find it easy with screws. Say you're probably not going to see most of this wall because it's going to be hidden by all the tools and the shelves and everything else, but it just makes it a bit nicer. So yeah. And the one thing I would say when you come to this top edge is measure, 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 mark, measure, 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 mark, and measure again. When you get to something complicated like this, you've got one shot or you will waste 4 tons of wood. Yeah, it's not always easy to wrap your head around it sometimes, and you can go backwards and forwards so many times. If you're not 100% sure, cut a little bit, go back, remeasure, cut a little bit more. It's so much easier to, I mean, it's not easy to recut the same piece of timber multiple times, but it's not going to be as bad as cutting too much and starting again. And now we're moving on to the electrics. Now I've saved you the joys of watching me wire up the lights. Yeah, I did have to modify them from what they're normally meant to do because they're designed to go from the ceiling down, and as you can see here, I don't have much of a ceiling, so I literally drilled some holes in the side of the units and then ran through the pyro cable, which makes life a lot easier. I don't know if you can see there, I've even lined the inside with some tape, so then there won't be any issues with moisture ingress. It doesn't need to be very technical with these kind of things, it's more of a vapor barrier than anything. So yeah, we've gone ultra cheap and cheerful here. 2 bayonet bulbs, can't go any cheaper than that really. I did want to go for fluorescents, but they only make the LEDs now, and they are a lot more expensive than people think. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers really struggle with the whole flashing LED thing, so I'd like to try and avoid that for as long as possible. Now, for anyone saying, Curtis, you're an idiot, you put the plug on the wrong end, no, that is actually considered, thankfully. Basically, I want to be able to have a charging station on the other side, so then I can run the lights, the cameras and everything off of one socket, and then when I go into the shed in the evenings, I can flick that one switch, I have lights, I have power to the cameras, I'm YouTube ready. And then when I'm done with that, I can just turn it off and everything's gone. Now what you can see here is me using double-sided M3 pads to stick the cables up. Now I did try this many years ago, and I only did it for a temporary thing, and it's actually perfect permanent. So there you have it, we finally got it sorted. Sorry, it's a bit warm and I'm a bit tired. But yep, panelling's all done. We have some basic illuminations, and yes, we have power, we have warmth. What more could you ask for? You know, apart from a workbench and some storage and some tools, and you know, some more tools, and you know, some more tools, and yeah, we need some tools. But yeah, so next time I'll be sorting out, I think I'll probably end up doing a temporary workbench for now, because I don't have the time to be building a custom bench from scratch. But I'll be bringing in some of what tools I have. We'll be sorting out some shelving, some storage, and we'll go from there. Alright, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. By all means, comment, let me know how shoddy it looks. And I shall see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Sorted. Apple and blackcurrant juice. Okay. And I've finished doing the electrics, so leave me alone.